we are back for part 2.
Yeah, part 2.
It's okay, man. Habits of a healthy marriage. Learn to laugh at each other. No. Trust and forgiveness. We're going to break this down. Basically, first and foremost, when you choose to harness unforgiveness towards your spouse, reminding that your marriage is a covenant, like that hurts God to see you causing, hurt or having feelings or making your spouse feel less than when you're supposed to be that gift to them.
But I felt like whenever you were loving, but you were still unforgiving. I mean, like to an extent, like you want me around, you want me to be present, but you would still kind of throw it in my face that I did you wrong.
It wasn't even side shade; it was just shade.
Yeah, but that was hard. That was hard for me to kind of get through it because it's like I want this to work, but yet you say you forgive me, but you're not forgetting, and it's a thin line between forgive and forget. You know what I mean? Forgive and forget.
Yeah.
So I feel like it's something that you have to be conscious about, that you're consciously doing.
Because it's a choice.
Right. Forgiveness
is a choice. It's not a feeling. But if you're saying that you're going to forgive them, then forgive them. Learn from it, but don't harness it. And with that, if you're the person that is asking for the forgiveness, in which Marcus did this, like he came to me, he was like, baby, I was wrong. He took responsibility. That showed me that he was vulnerable. It showed me like humility on his side. He put his pride aside, took responsibility for what he did, which in turn made it a little easier as we progressed through it, instead of him just being like, oh, I'm sorry. Because to me, that means nothing at all.
But I think during that time, I did ask for forgiveness, and I kind of fell back at times. You know what I mean? So how did you get through that? Did you see the finish line, or do you feel like I was remorseful for what I did, or?
I did feel like you were remorseful, which is another reason why we chose to go ahead and push forward. And I chose to see the finish. Again, it was different for me and Marcus because we weren't married at the time, but we did have a covenant, really, because we had a son, and we, as a parenthood, we had to choose what we were going to do for that. And then last but not least, again, on the other side, like I said, like he asked me to forgive him, which made me make that choice. Right. Ultimately, and it kind of put the ball into my court. He did everything that he could do. He confessed to it. He had prayed about it. And now here he is coming to me, the person that he hurt, asking me to forgive him. So, and then at that point, it's almost like his hands was clean on the situation. It was my choice.
So
it was up to me.
Take it or leave, pretty much.
Basically.
But I think to go into that, it's like about rebuilding trust. That's the most important thing. I mean, in rebuilding trust, not only do I have to be honest, I have to be honest to you, I have to be honest with myself. Because a lot of the time I put the fault on her, well, I did this because you didn't do that. But ultimately, like, that's an excuse. And like we learned in class, excuses are tools of incompetence that build bridges to nowhere. And those who use them set them accomplish anything. And that's the truth, because I was making so many excuses to why I did it. You didn't talk to me. You weren't there for me, And so when I was honest with myself, I began to see, like, okay, Marcus, it's you. So you got to work on you first before you can fix you and Kayla. And I feel like that was the key. But going into me and Kayla, we got to work together as a team. So we came together. We decided, hey, we're going to make this thing work. We sat down. We put it on the table. Like, I messed up. I fell short. We set boundaries and everything in place. But you were like, okay, let's make it work. And it was rough because we were going through the motions, like a lot of the times. Just kind of on my end, I know for sure. I was going through the motions because I knew I had to be over there. I couldn't be out like I used to be, And
Curfew.
Yeah. So do you want to kind of elaborate on that?
I mean, it was on both sides, because I was still hurt. I was still broken. I was still torn down. But because this was the decision that we made, I had to, and I heard this on one of the podcasts I was listening to this week, but I had to act myself to feeling. You can't feel yourself to act. And that's really what we did. And by choosing to go through the motions, knowing that we had a common end goal, it just like kind of, keep your eye on the goal.
Gotcha. I think the last and most important thing is you have to replace your old habits with new ones. So, like the things you used to do that would get you in trouble or lead you into temptation,
Or people.
you had to just eliminate those. I mean, it's hard because you're so used to them, and you get used to a pattern of doing the same thing over and over. Every Friday I go to so and so. Every Thursday I do this, but you got to change those patterns because it's going to continue to lead you into temptation. It actually will lead you into sin. I mean, even I said temptation is everywhere. Even Jesus was tempted. So why wouldn't we be tempted? So I feel like when I realized that situation, it was like, okay, like I can't be out like I used to be. I need to change my old habits. So me and Kayla would do even like just simple things. Like we'd go to the park, we'd go to Sonic, or we'd go just do simple things together just to change.
Like in the time that you would do that, it's almost like you consciously made that effort to refill that space with time for us.
Right. So I think that's pretty much it on rebuilding trust and forgiveness. Did you have anything else, baby?
It's not overnight. It took a year and a half,
if not longer.
About a year and a half, almost 2 years, for us to truly be okay. So, like we said, like keep your eye on the goal. If this is what you want in your marriage, your covenants with God, not with this person. You got to take it day by day, truly day by day.
And like a house, it's a foundation. Trust is the foundation. So brick by brick by brick, it takes time to build it. You know what I mean? If you want this big dream home, it's not going to just happen overnight.
No.
Just like your dream marriage is not going to happen overnight.
No.
So I feel like you have to be willing to put in the work.
As always, if you guys have any questions, thoughts, or topics, hit us up. Send us a message. Swing into our DM. Find us on YouTube, Instagram. We love y'all, and we'll see you next week. Bye.